Good afternoon, everyone. It's Soul Sunday. And of course, you know what that means. Getting your weekly input of soul to end a great week and to start the next week on an even better note. So while I'm waiting for viewers to hop on, I just want to go ahead and talk to my replay audience. If you happen to catch this live on the replay, be sure to comment replay and where you're watching from so I can go back and thank you later. And if for any reason you want to be sure to catch all of our Soul Sunday episodes or be notified when we go live, then make sure that you turn on the notifications for this particular, well, for me, so that way you know when I go live every Sunday or either daily for soul therapy. And hey everybody, I'm actually waiting for Allison to come on, and it says she's watching and I don't know why. Oh, can I add you, Allison? Okay, I'm sending the invite now, because you know Facebook be go live with Allison. Invite. I said invite. But I just want to thank you all for continuing to watch us. If you've been watching consistently.
Hi.
I'm tired. Hey girl, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Girl, I could be so much better. This weekend has been a weekend. That's all I can say right now.
I hear you, and I
So
can.
take a shot for me to be on here right now. But it's okay. I can sit and talk all day. That I can do all day.
Yes.
How are you today?
I'm doing fine. It has been quite a week for me as well, so I am looking forward to turning my life off for about an hour and just focusing on this.
Yes, that part. So, with that being said, let's just go ahead and just jump right on in.
Yes.
Thank you all for watching. For anybody that's watching, if you want to comment, engage, ask a question, please do. Please do. You definitely want to ask questions today, because today's topic is going to be a really good topic. And y'all will probably have a lot to say, and you might hear a lot of things that you haven't heard. And that's always good. Be open to receiving new information. But for those that don't know me, because I have been adding a lot of friends recently, but my name is Ruby D. I'm the Goddess Entrepreneur and the Soul Speaker. I am the author of the Goddess Grind series, which, Allison, I got my books today, girl. Yes. So, yes, I am the author of the Goddess Grind series, which basically focuses on manifesting your success within your life by awakening the goddess within. And I'm all about balancing chakras and whatnot. And I'm just going to leave it at that and let Allison go ahead and do her introduction so we can get into this.
All right. Well, peace and blessings, everybody. This is Allison with Be Still and Move, the organization that's been designed to help you heal, grow, and live beyond that relationship status by becoming better, not bitter, and enjoying your life along the journey. I'm all about relationships. I'm a mother. I'm a blogger. I'm a speaker. I'm a little bit of everything. And so I am super duper excited about today's message because it really needs to be discussed. Yes.
Yes. And my laptop. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Tiffany. Thank you all for watching.
What's up, Troy?
Go ahead and say this. If you feel that anything that we're saying you find beneficial or resonates with you, or somebody else could use the information, please feel free to share it. Now, this week's topic for Soul Sunday is going to be what to do when you're taking the break. And the break is when you've just gotten out of a relationship and before you go into your next relationship. Some of us, that's kind of like an area where it's like, well, you know, I'm hurt, I'm upset, I want revenge. Okay, let me just go ahead and talk to my backup boo. And then next thing you know, you in a situationship and you're repeating the same cycle. We all got to stop that, men and women.
Yes.
It's really time to stop that. So normally I start with the definition. There's really not a definition here that I can share with you all. So we just gonna get right into it. Last week, I actually asked Allison to choose the topic, and this is a topic she chose. So I'm gonna go ahead and let her get started. Just to give a little background or whatever input that she wants to do to go ahead and get us started. So it's on you, Allison.
All right. Well, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so as Ruby mentioned, the break. It is when you are in between relationships. You just ended one. That gap that should occur between the last relationship and a new relationship. The way I want to start it off, because there really isn't a definition, but I do want to give you some signs that you do need to take a break, because some of you are marathon relationships. You're marathon boyfriends, you're marathon girlfriends. You just keep going to the next one and the next one and the next one. Or you're out here in the dating scene and you keep getting disappointed. So some signs that you need to take a break are when you find yourself making cynical, sarcastic, or almost bitter comments. Yeah, I guess I'll go out this week. Let's see how this one disappoints me. Well, all women are the same, so I guess I'll just find one that's cute. Since all they want is my money, I'll just find one that looks good on my arm. There's all the good men are taken, all the good women are taken. I'm tired, I'm frustrated. You're not excited about the dates anymore. Men give you compliments, ladies, and you roll your eyes because you're like, oh, here goes another one. And it could be a sincere compliment. Or you find yourself secretly, you won't do this in front of people because you're too busy trying to be strong. But the minute you see a new marriage, a new proposal, a new baby, anytime you see a new relationship that is flourishing, anytime you see that, let's just be real, anytime you see a situation where someone has gone through the same things that you did, they made the same decisions you did, but it turned out better for them than it did for you. All of these are signs that you need to take a break. Everything you're feeling is valid, but you're in a situation where now you could become the poison that infects the next person, and you got to stop the poison with you. So that's what we want to talk about today.
So now, of course, I have my little list. I have my little girl. Do you see all this stuff on this list? These bullet points. Now, mind you, I just made this list like 20 minutes before we started. Now, I didn't have all day to write this. Hey, Anasa Monroe. Hey, Troy.
What's up, Rock? Oh, what's up, Alicia?
But I even started a list of don'ts on the back, but I was like, you know what? We're not even going to focus on the don'ts right now because we have too many do's to keep this.
Yes.
So, after you go through this breakup, and we're not talking about those breakups, those imaginary breakups where you thought you were in a relationship and you really wasn't in a relationship. That's a completely different thing. This is one of those situations where you were in a relationship, you both mutually were in the relationship, it didn't work out, or for whatever reason you decided to part ways. This is for those types of, breakups and stuff like that. But the first thing that I listed was you have to take an emotional inventory so you can properly manage your emotions and your feelings. Because, of course, fresh off of a breakup, you, of course, are in your feelings. You're mad, you're angry, you want to get revenge, or whatever the situation is, and however you're feeling, take time to understand exactly what it is that you're feeling. You may think that you're angry, but you're actually disappointed. Not only are you disappointed in them, you're disappointed in yourself. Probably more than you're disappointed in them because you allowed yourself to go through this. You always have those thoughts like, I knew I should have did this. Some told me not to talk to him. Some told me not to reach out to her and this and this and that. When that happens, you're more disappointed in yourself because you knew better. But now you think you're angry at this person for being exactly who you thought they were. That's just an example, but you need to take some time to properly manage your emotions and your feelings so they're not displaced. Demario, take a grace period to understand the feelings you are experiencing. Exactly, I agree. Allison, I'm gonna let you chime in on that bullet point. Now, mind you, you saw my list
I
right.
did.
So
We're gonna make this brief.
right, right.
Okay, so in addition to what Ruby said, now I'm gonna add a little thing to the relationship. Now she mentioned relationships where there was a mutual an acknowledgement that you guys were together, but I also want to add in those relationships where you were led to believe that you were together, because those can be
Okay.
just as damaging. And so if you were in that situation, I want to make sure that you know you're included in this, because that is just as damaging, to have someone build up your hope and to give you everything that you're asking for, just to wait for your feelings to be turned on and then say, well, hold up, I don't know. So I want to talk to you guys as well. But it is
Mm-hmm.
important to make sure that you take the time to acknowledge what you feel. Just like Ruby said, you've got to make sure, you will be disappointed. You will be disappointed with yourself, especially if your intuition said to leave that person alone. You're going to be mad at the time that you spent
Mm-hmm.
on them. You're going to be mad that you didn't trust yourself. You're going to be mad that they didn't just do what you were hoping that they would do. You're going to have all of these different emotions, and it's important that you take the time to feel them. And you want to make sure that you feel them honestly. Don't try to drink them away. Don't try to numb them. Don't try to do all that other stuff. If you're mad, be mad. If you're disappointed, be disappointed. If you're discouraged, be discouraged. It's the part that it's at the point that things hurt the most, that you're almost at the point of getting to the other side, but nobody wants to get to that step because it hurts so badly. This is the step that you need to take, though. So that's all I've got.
Right. And to add a little bit more to what she said before we move to the next, hey Renee, peace queen, how you doing?
What's up, Stephanie?
Is don't rush yourself through this process.
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry, it's gonna take some days, it might take some weeks,
Mm-hmm.
months, years, whatever it takes, give yourself that time.
Yes.
Do not rush yourself through the process. Trust me, once you learn this
Mm-hmm.
process and you start to get through it like you should, it becomes easier.
Yes, it does.
The amount of time it takes you, it becomes shorter because each time you're going to learn something. And that brings us to our next point,
Mm.
which is what did you learn from this relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Not just, oh, I need to stop messing with the same guys, or, oh, I need to make sure I pick guys that do this
Mm-hmm.
instead of this. No, what did you learn about yourself?
Right.
What did you learn about how you react to certain situations? What did you learn about how you should go about the process when you're selecting a mate, or when you're, at that particular stage where you're trying to decide if this person is giving you the signs and the things that you need to see in order to move on to that next step of being in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Take inventory of what you've learned. And like I said, it's not just some superficial learning,
Right.
but some serious, you know, take a look. Now, as us women, we will go back through a whole relationship from the time we met you all the way up until the breakup. You know what? I did see this, and you know what? I saw that, and you know what? I seen this too, and some told me we all go through it,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't mind. Let's not go there, but through that process, just make sure that you're holding yourself accountable. And I'll go ahead and take that off my list too, since we can kind of group those into
Mm-hmm.
one. But hold yourself accountable for what lessons that you've learned, as well as what you need to hold yourself responsible for. Because it's just not only that person's um, fault that y'all are not together anymore. Trust me, you have something to do with that too. And I'm just gonna leave it at that and let Allison go ahead and chime in.
All right. So when we're talking about this particular piece, it's important for you to understand that not everything in the relationship was bad. And so when we're talking
Right.
about what you learn, yes, they may have dealt a blow where you're just like, I'm not going to deal with a man who does A, B, C, or D again. But you got to dig deeper. I'll give this example. Let's say you're one of the marathon daters. Let's say that you've never given yourself a chance to take a break between relationships. You just find a new person. Now, whether that's because of fear or because you believe the lie that to get over one person, you got to get under another one, regardless of what that is, let's say that you've decided that you don't want to be serious with anybody. But let's say that you keep running into people who don't want to be serious and you find that you don't like that. You may need to sit down and accept that maybe you do want a relationship. You're just afraid of the fact that they haven't worked before, so you don't want to put yourself out there again. And ultimately, the only way you can avoid being hurt is to just stay single. So this is going to be the situation where you have to sit down and acknowledge, okay, I've tried this. I don't care if we're in a relationship or not, route, but it didn't work for me. I'm running into people who really don't want relationships, and I find things about them that I like. Maybe I do want a relationship, and maybe I need to just stop being afraid of it. And in terms of accountability, the one thing that I want to impress upon you guys is make sure you're being accountable, but make sure you're also not being condemning, and make sure that you're only taking responsibility for your part. I do believe in 99% of relationships that there are two people involved. And so by default, there are two people who cause something to contribute to the downfall. I have experienced one relationship myself where it was a one-sided situation. That's not going to be the norm, though. So you need to make sure that you're not playing victim. Now, if you are in that 1%, it does happen, except that maybe that was just a wrong person. But also remember that there was still probably maybe a situation where maybe they said something that seemed very minute at the time, but it turned out to be more telling than you realized, even if it's something that insignificant. And you want to make sure that you're not beating yourself up, especially if you're the one who's really hurt and the person has just kind of walked away like it doesn't bother them. You don't want to start saying, well, maybe it was me and maybe I wasn't enough of this or not enough of that. That's not accountability. That is condemnation. That's placing too much blame, and that's affecting your self-esteem. You're never going to be healed if you continue to go down that route.
Right. Okay, thank you all for watching. For everybody that's just tuning in, today me and Allison are discussing things that you should do during the break.
Yes.
And the break is basically that time you take between relationships after you've just gotten out of one and before you go into the next one. Now I'm going down this list not in any certain order or anything, but the next thing that you should do is not always expect that every guy or every female that you meet or every woman that you meet has the potential to be your new boo. Nobody ever said that every time you meet somebody of the opposite sex, you have to take them through this whole, okay, could this be the one type thing with yourself? Don't even focus on that. Focus on just being friends. Focus on just making friends. Focus just on having fun. Because you're so worried whether or not he's going to say the right thing for you to trigger that thing in your mind that says, okay, he has potential. Why are you even there? You haven't even spoken to this guy yet. You just, oh, he cute. I wondered why. No, I need you to slow your roll and just be friendly. Just say, hey, how you doing? Strike up a conversation. Just focus on being friends. Because just because you single don't mean you need to be out here looking. And just because you out here looking don't mean everybody has the potential to be your boo. So just kind of slow that down and just be friends. And that's all I got to say about that.
All right, so I'm just going to add a different perspective. I do agree that you should enjoy friendship. I think within every relationship, there needs to be a friendship. Now, not every friendship is necessarily going to turn into a relationship, but one of the things that I have seen in my experience is sometimes people focus too much on friendship and they allow themselves to use that to stay afraid of moving forward. And so my stance, I'm very focused on if you can be driven about your career, if you can be driven about the business that you want to run, you've got to be just as protective of your heart. You have to have the same focus. If what you want is a relationship,
Right.
you need to stay focused on that. The minute you end up running into someone who says that they don't want it, you need to move on. The minute that you run into
Mm-hmm.
someone who says that they're unsure or is circular or you can't get a straight answer, whatever it is, if you know you want a relationship and you are making the steps to make yourself ready, don't allow the detour of ambiguity to keep you in a situation the next time. When you're taking this break,
Mm-hmm.
be honest about what you want. Don't talk about the fact that you're afraid you're not going to get it. Don't talk about the fact that you haven't had it yet. You've lived that. You know that. What do you want in this
Right.
direction? And stay focused on that, because as Ruby mentions with chakras and with positive words of affirmation and with speaking your universe, if you don't speak that that is what you want, you're going to get everything but that. So you've got to speak, I want a relationship, I want a marriage, I want to have a family. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to run into 5 people that are ready to give you that, but it means that you will stay in tune with the universe to only connect yourselves to people intimately that are looking for the same thing. So,
Girl, we own it today, girl, because that brings me to my next bullet point. Even though I put likes and dislikes, but more so, become what you want to attract and also give that to yourself.
yes.
If you want somebody that's going to love you, be a loving person
Mm-hmm.
and love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying no half love, no fake love, nothing like that. You have to love yourself completely and you have to emanate love completely. You can't be out here getting an attitude with this person and just being flat out rude
Right.
and think you're gonna attract love. No, you're gonna attract exactly what you put out there, and then you're gonna be mad when you end up in the same situation
Mm-hmm.
that you've just gotten out
That's
of.
right.
So write down a list of things. Well, I'm not saying write down a list of things that you want in a mate.
Right.
Write down a list of things that you want, such as love, honesty, compassion, somebody that's attentive, whatever.
Yes.
And whatever is on that list, make sure you are everything on that
That's
list.
right.
And make sure you are everything on that list to yourself and that you also can give that to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be out here asking for something that you can't be and something that you can't give.
At all. At all. And let me add to that. Please be advised,
Mm-hmm.
self-love does not equal selfish. If you've been in a
Uh,
situation where you've put in more than you got back, that is one of the first emotions and one of the first mindsets to happen. Well, fine, they didn't appreciate what I gave, so I'm not giving nothing to nobody. The next part, it's just going to be all about me. You're still hurting. Sit down, stay away. Understand that that person didn't appreciate what you gave. It doesn't mean that the next person won't, but you can basically seal the deal that you won't receive love back if you decide that you're going to go out of here with the all about me attitude. Keep that all about me attitude while you are on the break, because it can be about you. You're not hurting anyone's feelings by
mm-hmm.
deciding that you don't want to think about anything else or bend for anybody else or compromise. It's okay to do that if you're single, but to decide that you want to go back
Right.
into the dating game with that mindset, you're now going to become the same person that hurt you, and the same karma that they got, it's going to visit your doorstep too. Karma does not miss ever. And so you want to make sure that
Mm-mm.
you're not spreading the same crap to someone else who doesn't deserve it just because you received treatment that maybe you didn't deserve.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, thank you everybody that's actually tuning in and watching.
Yes.
Um, Ruby and my guest is Allison. Now, just to give you a quick background, me and Allison are both advocates of self-love, self-healing, self-everything, but not being selfish. We want you to get yourself together first so you can do everything that you need to do for everybody else.
Yes.
So for today's topic, we are talking about what you should be doing during the break between relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to focus on getting yourself together and, focusing on yourself so that next relationship can be more of what you want. So you're always progressively working toward the ultimate relationship that you want instead of repeating the same cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have any questions, comments, if you feel like something we're sharing is beneficial, something that we're saying is beneficial,
Mm-hmm.
then definitely share, definitely engage. We love to engage. I'm surprised Tate not on here yet. Hopefully he at church or work or something. But that's what we're discussing today. So, of course, we're going to move on to the next thing on my list, which is balancing your chakras. I put that on the list because, for one, a whole lot of people are not familiar with that term. And if they are familiar, then not, they're just kind of familiar with it. But it's important to balance your chakras because when you do that, you learn how to manage your feelings. You learn how to keep it real with yourself. You learn what it is that you really want because you know who you really are. You've accepted yourself for who you are, the good, the bad, the ugly, the stuff that you just slid under the rug, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
When you know who you are, what you want, and everything, then you know exactly what it is that you want in another person. So, balancing your chakras, please do that. And once you do that, then you're actually going to start attracting exactly what it is that you want. You're going to know how to put it out there, and you will also know when it comes back to you, you will know it from anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually comes down to discernment and intuition because that's on my list too.
Okay.
But we're going to come to that a little later. But balance those chakras.
Yes.
It'll put you in an optimum emotional, spiritual, mental, and physical state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not always caught up in this negative space when it comes to relationships. And I'm just gonna leave it there. I could talk on and on and on, but I'm just gonna leave it there.
No, ma'am, I'm not touching chakras.
Okay then. And y'all, I apologize for the light change. And I have my laptop sitting here. It decided to be on and then want to do an update and come back on.
Wow.
So it's, that's why I'm getting all these different colors in my face. But with balancing chakras, the next thing on the list is get a mental wellness check.
Mm.
Chakra consult. Basically, you know, I'm passionate about mental wellness. And, I find these things out about myself as I move on and, becoming a better person and, moving in my purpose and stuff like that. But mental wellness plays a huge part in how we deal with breakups and how it affects us. So after a breakup, you probably need to talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying talk to your friend who told you to break up with him in the first place, or somebody that didn't like her in the beginning, or your mama or your daddy or something like that. Go talk to a professional. I'm not saying go talk to a professional because something is wrong with you. I'm saying talk to a professional because they can give you an unbiased opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Two, they can also give you insight from a point of view that you may have never considered, and they may actually say something that can be the turning point for you and how you treat relationships and pursue relationships and stuff like that. So get a mental wellness checkup, just like you get a physical, your annual physical or something like that. Just take a little time to go talk to somebody, either
Yeah.
myself or Allison or somebody like us.
Yeah.
But do that. It's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It doesn't show that you're weak. It's not to say that you're crazy. It's just
Mm-mm.
a checkup.
Mm-hmm.
Allison, go ahead with your
I,
input, girl.
I 100% agree. it is very important that you get the opportunity to just do a mental dump and an emotional dump in a place where, as you are releasing those things, and for that temporary period, you are going to be a little bit weak because you are allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to feel those feelings, and to get those emotions out. And the best place to do that is an unbiased opinion, because, you know, here's the thing. Let's say that a relationship ended because the timing was off. Let's say a relationship ended because it was time, but maybe that person is meant to come back around. That's not always the case. But what will happen is, if you are in that situation and you've gone to someone who didn't like the person anyway, all they're going to do is keep reminding you of the stuff that you need to remember that isn't good about them. That doesn't give you that doesn't put you in a place of healing and understanding and enlightenment and growth. It puts you back in victim territory, and now you have people around you who are ready to allow you to keep playing that victim role. If you go where there is an unbiased opinion, and also make sure it's an unbiased opinion by someone who is themselves not bitter because of a relationship. You want to make sure that they are healed and that they have the ability to look at things objectively. And so it's important that you give yourself that time to talk. You may just need one session. You may need 3. You never know. But what I can tell you, having gone to a professional myself, I can tell you that I feel much better when I leave. I don't feel like I'm still carrying the same weight. I don't feel like I'm carrying the same baggage. And I don't feel like my mind is in that same circle of thinking about everything that went wrong and what is he doing and where is he at and blah. I don't have those thoughts because I'm able to tell how I feel in an environment where the darkest parts of those relationships aren't being magnified for me. That professional is just there to help me walk through how I feel and to help me, more importantly, walk out of it into another space.
Yes, yes, yes. As Renee says, exactly. Now, during this time of the breakup, the break, not the breakup, the break. Do stuff alone, but do things that you enjoy.
Yes.
You know, I'm all about replacing any negative thoughts with positive thoughts. So the best way not to be focused on how hurt you are, how disappointed you are, or anything like that, get out, go shopping, get out, go skating, go to the movies, go eat. I'm not saying that you have to go out and socialize with every single person. Oh Lord, there go Tate. Let's hurry up. Now let me stop. But get out and do things that you enjoy. And it could be you, if you like painting, paint at home. If you like writing, write. If you enjoy singing, go sing. Girl, I would tear up some karaoke. I'm just saying. Everybody knows that music is therapeutic.
Yes, it is.
Listen to music. But whatever it is that you enjoy doing, do it alone. What that does, of course, it builds that relationship that you have with yourself. You're giving yourself some self-care, some self-love, some self-attention, stuff that, exactly, learn to spend time with yourself. So you don't have to worry about why is the next person not here yet? Why is it taking so long? You so concerned, you're so busy being you and enjoying yourself and enjoying who you are that you're not even focused on the fact that whoever's next is not even there. You over here enjoying yourself. Next thing you know, you're gonna be in a relationship all happy and stuff because that's what you didn't focus on. You focused on being your ultimate self, and you attracted that person that's gonna be that ultimate person for you. Plain and simple.
I agree.
Say, just mad because you can't wear it. Go on, Allison.
What's up, Tate? And I didn't get to say this, but what's up, C. Renee? I saw that you checked in too. All right, so to add to what Ruby is saying about spending time with yourself, here's what I want you guys to really think about, and it'll make sense as you start to heal more. You may be missing the person, but what you're really missing is a routine. And so when we talk about the fact, because you guys had your thing, you had this place that you went and you had these things that you did and you missed that routine. And that was what you didn't want to change because you enjoyed it. And so when we talk about spending time with yourself, it's the twofold process of you building the relationship with you, but it's also you developing a new routine. You may not want,
Mm-hmm.
you may not feel like developing that new routine, but what I want you to remember is there was a time where the routine you don't want to let go of was not in your life. It became normal.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're saying for you to do now is to develop your own routine with you, doing the things that you enjoy. And start with the things that maybe you didn't do because he or she didn't like them. What are some movies that you like to watch that they didn't, and you found yourself slowly putting that to the side? I talk a lot about the fact that in my previous marriage, I gave up reading because it seemed to intimidate my ex-husband. And so, if you find that there's a passion that you had, pick up start doing those things that connect you back to you. That is so
Mm-hmm.
important. Yesterday I experienced areas of my life and my personality that woke up for the first time in 10 years. It's been 10 years since I did some of the things that I did yesterday, and I found that I enjoyed getting back to those things. There may have been a time that I didn't need to do them, but now it's time for me to get back to some of it. And so start with things that you couldn't do, and then start by adjusting maybe some of the things that you did enjoy doing with them, but maybe it hurts too much right now. So don't do them yet.
Mm-hmm.
As you start getting more healed and away from it, and when we finish Ruby's list, there is one area that I do want to discuss. So I'll stop here, but make sure that you are focused on the fact that doing things by yourself is not saying we want you to enjoy being lonely, because that's not what spending time with
Right.
yourself means. It means you're spending time with yourself. Develop that new routine, because here's the thing: if you want a new person, you got to be in a new space. New routine
Right.
puts you in new spaces. Even if the person that you've broken up with is meant to come back, you don't want to be found in the same space. You're going to hope that y'all have grown. Otherwise, y'all just going to repeat the relationship again. Be in a new space by starting new things, starting with yourself.
Exactly. Hey, Robin. Thank you for tuning in, honey. We appreciate
Yes,
you.
we do.
For those just now watching, we're discussing things to do during the break between relationships. Um, the next thing on my list is um, it kind of goes back to the first point of allowing yourself to be emotional.
Mm.
Um, if you got an ugly cry, you eat, you sleep, you enclose yourself, whatever it is that you do,
Mm-hmm.
just do it and allow yourself time to do it. And then just make sure, after you do your ugly cry, just go clean your face and, dress up and go hang out or whatever it is that you need to do to just deal with it, deal with it. It's completely okay. Don't sit up here and pretend like you're not hurt. That's what we saying.
Yep.
Don't don't be out here trying to be all savage
Mm-hmm.
and act like you ain't got no
Mm.
feelings and all of this other kind of stuff, because in the long run it's gonna do more damage than good. You might as well just go ahead and deal with it, because at some point you're going to deal with it.
That's right.
You might as well deal with it now.
Exactly.
And that's all I got to say about that, Allison.
Okay. Well, what I want to add to that is to make sure as you're dealing with it, you want to make sure that you're honest about where you are. And I'm going to say this mainly for those of us who run into compassionate people. The fact that you're deciding to take a break, the fact that the person that you wanted to be with, for whatever reason, did not see your value or it didn't work out, it doesn't mean that the value is not there, which by default means it's not going to stop people from approaching you. So when
Mm-hmm.
you are in that situation, you may be hurt. You may be in the middle of just being blinded by your disappointment, but to the outer world, your greatness is still there. Your beauty is still there. Your value is still there. You are still going to attract people to you, and they're not always going to be bad people for you. And so you have to be honest about where you are, because if you are a compassionate person, you're going to attract compassionate people. And that person may tell you, and that person may tell you, I understand that you may be nursing a broken heart. I understand that you may be nursing some wounds, and I want to be here to help you through that. It may sound awesome. You may want to just really lean in and let that person do that for you. But here's the thing. Remember that even though they've offered, you're the only one who knows how deeply you are hurt right now. You're the only one who knows how angry you may be. And it doesn't matter if they're offering it to you. If you know you're in a place where you could potentially be toxic to them, even though the opportunity is being presented for arms being around you and being able to cuddle and being able to be held, even though that may be really tempting, don't transfer your pain to someone else and punish them for seeing the value in you. Be man and woman enough to say, I'm not ready yet. I know that that might be fearful. Well, what if nobody's around when I am ready? Well, if you're not ready and you spread this toxicity to this next person, you're going to wait even longer, because there's still that thing called karma. It's not right.
Yes.
So just be honest about where you are and say, I really appreciate that offer, but I know at the space that I'm in right now, I need to deal with this by myself.
Right. And with her saying that, as far as being honest with where you are, you never know where your help is going to come from. In that very moment where you're being completely honest and being in your emotions, you may get a message or get something from somebody that you, because you're being completely genuine about your situation.
Yeah.
We're not saying it's going to be your soulmate or whatever, but it's something that's being brought to you that you need to hear, that you need to receive. Be open to receiving it. Don't be out here trying to be savage and then miss the whole thing.
Exactly.
And now you are here, backtracking instead of moving forward.
Exactly.
Just be honest. Like Renee said, don't fake it till you make it.
Please don't.
I don't know who came up with that. Don't do that. Do not do that.
Don't.
Now, mind you, even though me and Allison are both women, and we're speaking from a general perspective, so this is not just something that applies to men or applies to women. It applies to everybody. Whether you just broke up, about to break up, whatever the situation is, this particular episode of Soul Sunday is, like I said, to focus on those things to do during the breakup, the good things to do.
Yeah.
Not to be out here bashing, not to be out here going back and forth on Facebook, none of that.
Right.
We want you to focus on you so you can heal. You got to stop this cycle and all this extra stuff.
Yes.
So that brings me to my next thing on the list, which is, y'all know I'm all about energy and I'm all about chakras. Cleanse. Do a womb or sacral chakra cleanse. If you've been with somebody, y'all been intimate, you need to clear out that negative energy or any energy that's tied to them. If you've never done a womb cleanse or sacral chakra cleanse, you need to do one, because all of the energies from the people they slept with, plus all the energies of the people that you slept with, negative or positive, that's still there. You need to cleanse that out and let that go. It doesn't take long to do it all, but you need to clean out that energy, because you want to be, if you want to be ready for the next person, you can't be bringing sex. We all know is an energy exchange.
Right.
You're taking whatever energy from your last relationship. It's all inside of you. It's there. And you moving that on to them. You could be emotionally good, but when it comes to y'all getting intimate, then all of a sudden you in your feelings and you don't know what's going on. You don't know what changed. That's what it is. Cleanse out all of that and let all of that go and move on to the next one.
That's right.
So Allison probably don't have much to say about that. Yep. Allison probably like, wait a minute, I might need to do that too. Like, hold on, wait.
I just love the way you talk about it. Every time you talk about it, I write it down in my journal and I do research. So I'm just Mental note.
Get you a womb cleanse done.
Mm-hmm.
And men, be careful what type of women y'all out here sleeping with.
Yes.
Y'all need to do some cleansing in that area, some spiritual cleansing in that, some energy clearing in that area too.
Absolutely.
But I'm just gonna leave that one there because if y'all, some of y'all like Allison, just go and write that down and just go and do some research on it. Just go and do some research on it. Next on the list is actually, it actually got to the point where some of the stuff that I was thinking are previous episodes that me and Allison had already discussed. Like, for instance, setting the standard with self.
Yes.
You definitely want to do that during the break.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can actually go back and watch that particular episode because we had a long conversation about that.
Mm-hmm.
But setting the standard with self is basically becoming to yourself everything that you want this person to be. If you want somebody to be honest with you, set that standard with yourself. And along with setting those standards, be sure to set your boundaries of what you will not deal with and what you will not tolerate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's across the board.
Mm-hmm.
So, Allison, you can go ahead and chime in on that one.
This part is really important because if you don't go out having healed from the various relationships, if you go out with no new perspective on what it is that you want and what it is that you've learned, you're setting yourself up to run into the same thing. If you went out before with uncertainty and now you still don't have certainty, these are my non-negotiables. These are the things that I want to see. These are the things that I need to experience before I can allow myself to grow into this relationship. If you haven't taken the time to figure out what those things are for you, then you're still going to go back out and run into whoever seems attracted, whoever seems cute, whoever seems interesting, whoever has common interests. You still haven't set your boundary for what you want and what you need to see. And it's important that you take the time to do that. And I want to reiterate, please remove fear from this process. I don't care if you're over 35 or over 40 and you're still waiting to get married and you're afraid that your standards might be too strict or whatever. You know what you want. Stop being afraid that what you want is automatically going to leave you alone. And to be honest, even though no one wants to be alone, I don't want to end up alone. But even if that's the case, think about the worst relationship that you were in and ask yourself, do you really want to spend the rest of your life feeling the way you felt then? Sometimes being alone is better than other opportunities that you're presented. So wipe that fear away and just be honest about what you want.
Exactly. Next on the list, which is another Soul Sunday episode that we did, was basically become your own companion. Learn it, do it, and be it. Like she said, it may not necessarily be that we're all out here destined to be in the best relationship or the ultimate relationship. But until we get there, or until we, attract that particular person that's going to be that all for us, we need to be that all for ourselves. Become your own companion, and that just goes back with doing things alone that you enjoy. And we have a full episode on that, and I will be sure to share it so you all can watch it. Or either, if you go to my website, thegoddessgrind.com, there is a tab on there that says Soul Sunday Live that has the link for every episode that we've done.
Awesome.
It's there. And then, of course, the very first episode that we did was Energy and Discernment.
Yes.
Please strengthen your discernment, strengthen your intuition. So as you're going through this process during the break, you know who's there for you and you know who's not. You're not ignoring those red flags. You're not pretending that they're there, and you're not just simply overlooking them.
Right.
Discernment is real.
Yes, it is.
Follow your intuition. When your intuition tells you no, Think about, just follow it. Trust me, just follow it. The more you follow it, the stronger it becomes.
Mm-hmm.
Alice?
Continue to build that back up is what my suggestion would be. If you've been in a situation where you're looking back and saying, I knew this and I saw this, then you're also feeling the other effects of also not trusting you anymore. You start saying,
Right.
well, maybe I can't trust my intuition. I didn't follow it. And maybe I can't trust me, blah, blah, blah. You have to get to the point where you start to trust yourself again. And it may have to take baby steps. If you happen to hear, I'll just give an example. Let's just say you're driving along, you're approaching the intersection, the light turns yellow. Normally, you would just run through it, but something tells you to stop. Listen to it and stop. And let's just say you end up looking in front of you and you see that there's a police officer who was right there at the intersection that may have pulled you over for running the red light. Something that simple is the beginning of you learning to trust your inner voice again. So start with baby steps. As you start to follow those steps, now know sometimes you won't get the proof that you were doing, that you listen. You may not get it immediately. It may be down the road. But learn to trust yourself again so that you don't run into the risk of, let's say you run into another person who starts giving mixed signals, but now you really like him or her. If your intuition is saying to go and you've taken that time during the break to learn to trust your intuition, you're willing to step away, even though you don't know why, even if it means you cry, even if it means you're frustrated, even if it means you're disappointed, you're willing to trust yourself and walk away, and that will only help you in the end.
Mm-hmm. Now, that was pretty much everything that I had on my list, but the last thing is self-care. Now, the reason I put self-care last is because when we go through this process during the break, we may take 5 steps forward, but then you're going to be out, you're going to hear that song, you're going to be on Facebook scrolling, you're going to see an old picture, you're going to see an old memory. Somebody's going to bring up their name where it puts you back in that place. It may be mentally, emotionally, physically, but it's going to take you back, and you're going to want to cry. You're going to want to be upset. You're you're going to want to do these things, and that's completely fine. Take that moment to acknowledge, okay, I still have some healing to do. That's not to say that I haven't done any healing, but I'm still at a place where it still affects me when certain things trigger it. And that's completely fine. Live in that moment, but then get back on track. Refocus. Don't stay there. You have to learn that during the break, you're going to move forward and you're going to move back. And you're going to keep moving forward and you're going to come back. Just don't stay there. It's a process. It's not always the easiest process. Just like with anything else, even with building a business. Some days you're going to have good days, some you're going to have bad, but you still keep moving forward. You don't let that one particular moment set you all the way back to the very beginning. With self-care, once something triggers and you go back to that memory, you might need to listen to some music. You might need to go, get you a nice glass of tea, meditate a little bit, or you might need to, if you didn't plan on doing something that weekend and then all of a sudden you're stuck in the house and you're like, well, now I'm feeling lonely, get up, get out and go do something.
Please.
Just make sure that you're always taking care of yourself and making sure that you're always mindful of the cues that your body gives you. Sometimes you might think you're doing okay, then all of a sudden you just start crying and like, what's going on? It's okay. Let your body do what it does. Get yourself back on track. It's gonna happen. Nobody said that the break was gonna be all fun and relaxing and roses, and no. The break is supposed to be everything good, bad, from one extreme to the next. And in that process, you have to learn how to deal with it. Like I said, once you learn, then each time Hopefully we don't have to go through the process too many times, but each time it gets easier
Mm-hmm.
because you understand what it is that you need to do and how you need to use the time wisely, how you need to use it most effectively so that you're not always in this space.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want everybody to always be going or to always be taking the break. No.
That's right.
But it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Your input on that, Allison?
Well, I'm gonna add to what you said because it falls directly in line with the piece I wanted to add to this. I want you guys to also understand that part of this self-care that Ruby just mentioned, and one of the things that I'm a very big proponent of, is no contact. When you get to the point where this relationship has ended, you have accepted that whether it's meant to be picked back up or never again, it is over. It is very important that you implement no contact as soon as possible. Stop the myth of thinking that you can go from loving a person to being their friend. You can't. Stop it. Stop it. Stop allowing that person to tell you, well, it didn't work out, but I hope we can still be friends. Maybe you can down the line, but stop trying to come up with reasons why you need to still stay connected to the person that you're also trying to heal from. You're slowing down your own process. You're slowing down your own healing, and it's important. Even if you take 30 days, take 30
Mm-hmm.
days, block their number and don't call them. Take them off of Facebook. Take them off of all social media. Like Ruby mentioned, those times that you may have, the mutual friends that you have that they may end up hanging out with again, unfollow them
Mm-hmm.
too. You want to minimize as much of that as possible because you don't want to keep going back and forth unnecessarily. The process itself is
Mm-hmm.
always already going to involve a lot of back and forth. Don't add to it by still allowing the feelings that you have for this person to cause you to believe the lie. Even though I really want them in my life in this way, I'm willing to accept them as a friend. Let me just make it clear. Friends are okay listening to other friends talk about new relationships. If you know you're not ready to listen to him or her talk about their new man, you are not ready to be their friend. Stop believing that lie. Cut the communication. You've got to give yourself that time to accept things as they are and to not continue to have the
Mm-hmm.
distractions and the interference. So whatever it is that you have to do, and I can talk about this more offline if someone would like to inbox me, but it's important that you give yourself that room and that ability to just be in your four walls with no outside engagement from that person until you're ready to re-engage in a different mindset.
Yes. And to add to that, Allison, I think we might need to do a part two for real of what not to do
I like that.
during the break.
Yes, I like that.
We'll do that. We'll do that one next week.
Okay.
But because it's on my mind right now because of what she said, if you have friends that know you're no longer with the person, tell them, do not bring this person up. Do not ask me about
Mhm.
this person. Do not, it's okay to tell them that.
Yep.
And if you're a friend, they will respect your wishes because they understand what it is that you have to do for yourself.
Right.
Like, don't talk to me about him. No, I'm not there right now.
Right.
Because some people, they live for that.
Mm-hmm.
Let let that go and let them go. Or either, deal with them, put them in a different category for you to deal with them.
Right.
But, you know, Allison, this was such a good topic to speak. Like I said,
It
we'll do a part two of things not to do next week.
yes.
But look, girl, I already started my list. See what it say? Don't. But I had on the things to do list. Then I was like, you know what? We're not even gonna get to it because I know how me and Ellison are. But we appreciate you all for tuning in.
Thank you.
Um, like like I said, me and Ellison are advocates for self and taking care of yourself, self love, getting you where you need to be in order
Mm-hmm.
to be everything else for everybody else. y'all know with me in relationships, my input is not like everybody else's, or my views are not the same as everybody else's. But, you know, along with mental health, we need to start having better conversations about relationships. Not too long ago, I posted a status on Facebook like, are we really gonna keep talking about going back and forth with what men want and what women want? Like, why do we keep talking about this? All men don't want the same thing. All women don't want the same thing the same way. And it's just like, if we keep having this same conversation and not ever changing it up, then it's never going to get better. Same thing with mental health. If we keep having this same conversation of nobody really wanting to talk about it, the cycle is going to continue. So, Allison, I think, at some point we should start incorporating relationship information more. We definitely don't do that whole bashing thing.
Nope.
Now, Allison will call you out on some stuff that ain't right, though.
Sure will.
She will. She will do that. But we don't do no male bashing, no female bashing, no none of that. Like I said, today is all about things that you should do. Next week, we're going to focus on things that we don't. Robin, great show, ladies. I'm going to have to replay because I missed the first half hour. Yes, girl, go back and watch it.
Enjoy.
Yes. So that's our time today. I'm Ruby D, the Goddess Entrepreneur and the Soul Speaker, author of the Goddess Grind series. I actually have both of these books for the Goddess Grind series book bundle, where you can get both books for $25 with shipping included. But I'm only doing so many of them. I only have like 20 sets available, but it's on pre-order. I'm actually going to ship February the 12th. So if you want that, definitely let me know. Like I said, the website, www.thegoddessgrind.com. You can find me on YouTube. Search Ruby Davidson. Instagram at Ruby D Artistry. And I could be on here talking all day about stuff, but I'm not. Allison, go ahead.
All right, guys.
Because I know you got Fishbowl Radio, you got the podcast, you got the website.
All right, guys. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook under Allison Denise. You can find me on Be Still and Move and Be Still and Move with the exclamation point so that we can invite you to our closed group. YouTube and Instagram under I Will Be Still and Move. Snapchat and Twitter under Be Still and Move. You can catch me on my station. I do Facebook Live every Monday through Thursday between 8:15 and 8:45. And then on Fridays, we do Financial Friday a little earlier. Also on the Fishbowl Radio Network, Green Bowl Fridays from 9 to 11 Central. And we do have the podcast coming up, Be Still and Move, live with yours truly. More information to come.
Oh, and the one last thing that I just started doing that I need to start, I've been doing good for the last few days, but soul therapy every day, like around lunchtime. I go live for a quick, hot 5 to 7, 12 minutes, say what I got to say, and I'm off, and that's it. So you can find that, like I said, around lunchtime-ish, anywhere between like 12 and 2, because I got to make sure I eat and stuff like that and whatever. But we appreciate you all for watching. We love you all. This is like episode 11, and we still going.
Yep.
Next week, we're going to talk about things that you should not do during the break.
Yes.
So that's all I got today, Allison. That's it.
That's all I got.
That's it. All right. Peace and love. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.